my fellow learners and friends. So before I start, I place on record my sincere appreciation for the services that all of you have rendered, and especially the ones that received the awards. So it humbles me in your presence. So God bless all of you. I'm Bhavanishankar, and I was trying to figure out a context that we would generate for this particular morning. Mr. Brahman was asking me whether it was all right for me to have a presentation. I said, no, let it be free-flowing. The topic that has troubled me for a while was to look at the transitional gaps that continue to exist in the schools, especially transitioning from secondary to post-secondary education. The conversation that needs to happen between the universities and the schools are not necessarily happening. And I'm just going to sort of start with a story. So I'm going to start with Mother. I want Mother to possibly repeat this first storyline. I made this storyline up. So, Mother, we would like that you start the storyline saying that you have been an educator for over 3 decades. Is that right? Please. Can you just make and state?
I'm a passionate educationist for the past 3 decades of my life.
Thank you for being that. Sir, please come. I want you to tell me the second line of the story. So, please hurry up. So, Brahman Garu, I know that you've been remarkable in what you've been doing. Oh, I'm sorry, I just forgot the feedback.
Yeah, please tell me, sir.
So you're going to say that you are really good at what you do. I'm sure you're very good at what you're doing, but I'm just asking you to say that. So please say that you're really good at what you're doing. You should not. I know you're a humble man, but then please make that statement.
Yes, sir, 100%.
Yeah, you're really good at. Please make that statement. I want that to be heard from you.
So really, what I'm doing, I'm enjoying.
Aha, that's good. So he's really good at the job that he's currently in. Now, I'm just going to a friend who's sitting here. So, Madhvi. So, I spotted you. So, Madhvi, you're going to make the third statement for. So, you always manage to exceed expectations. He was really good at the job that they are currently in. Somebody who seeks to excel and manage to exceed expectations, and for to ensure that their children perform well or perform to the best of their abilities in their examinations. But if I disconnect this for, let us say that the first statement is true to Mother here. The second statement is true to Brahman Garu there. The 4 of these tell different stories. The third and the fourth, I'm sorry, it doesn't even talk about ethics. So when Madhvi said that, I question her that you know what she does? She ensures the expectations by, I'm not saying this is just an indicator saying that there's a complete disconnect with that particular statement, and especially for people. So you may be giving 150 revisions before the exams, so that the children are absolutely prepared. I mean, this, if it's completely disconnected, tells different statements to all of us. And the point of raising this particular story is that when we connect all of these, sadly, most of us don't even scratch the surface that is significantly pointed out to how the graduate attributes are when the children complete their schooling and move on to college. We overvalue the cognitive dimension that we continue to do. The language that emerges in such discussions also point out that, hey, you have a number of these competitive exams, and these competitive exams give you the gateway or entry into hell. So you don't know that particular space. We see a lot of children getting disappointed about their own capabilities and then end up depressed. The saddest attribute of this is that some of them attempt suicide, and a few of them succeed in doing it. Now, let us say that if this is the case where we are not even sure of what the child needs to go through in college life, it's good that we step back and ask the leaders from the post-secondary education landscape to converse with us and to tell us how these children need to be prepared for the college life. College life is just not about marks. It's also about the culture and the environment this space brings in. The responsibility that we have been shouldering while the children were at school suddenly gets transferred to the children themselves. They're all of 18 and 19, maybe young adults if we need to qualify them as that. However, we have not given them the right kind of skill sets. I mean, that is absolutely certain. With the kind of sectoral differences we have, the socioeconomic divides, the access divides, the digital divides, the language divides, see, several divides compound this particular case, especially in the Indian milieu. I'm happy that all of us are here. I am particularly humbled in the presence of Mr. Pravin. So he just received the award, and this gentleman just introduced himself. Sir, I'm a farmer. I had to make a huge contribution to the North Rural Karnataka. So he's one of the many that actually makes a scratch at the surface. So, however, sadly, the case is not true, and we are only taking this conversation and intellectually stimulating ourselves and getting gratified over these conversations, but very little gets actioned, especially at grassroots. So you are an exception, sir. So very little gets translated into this particular space, and therefore I felt that this conversation needs to be towards preparing the children for future and what schools can actually do. We have 15 years. So over this 15 years, we can do magic. So are we aligning them to careers? So what are the careers that we are talking about? So let us say we would ask the gentleman to talk about a particular skill set that he would like the children to say have. What would be one skill that you would like the children to have, sir? Skills transference. And I think most importantly, these things have to be piggybacked. All the skills that you're talking about needs to be piggybacked on resilience or the ability to bounce back. So when we said suicide, when we said depression, so it's an act of giving up. We have not even touched the affective and the psychomotor domain as much as we worked on the cognitive domains. We have these numbers that don't add up. 34.7 crores would be the number of children from the age of 3 to age of 18, which is school-going age. We talk about universal education and we give a figure like 3.1 in terms of foundational literacy and numeracy, and we said that we will achieve it by 2026-27. Based on our own estimates of the Sustainable Development Goals, we have said that by 26-27 we have achieved it, but made the figure as 3.1 crore. The numbers don't add up. So at the best, till about class 2, class 3, we need at least 1/3 of 34.7. So with the numbers simply don't add up. And our own data, which is the Human Capacity Index, points out that by 2040s, India would be giving to the world at least 50% of semi-skilled and unskilled labor force. Okay, so which means that, so you need to slap me, I need to slap you. And then, so turn around and slap each other, because this is exactly what the Human Capacity Index says, which goes on to tell us that we are missing something absolutely fundamental to the core of building capacities. And our interest needs to be driven towards making relevant skill sets for children getting assimilated. I mean, you can't teach skills, you need to practice skills over a period of time for them to get the benefit of these and move on to the post-secondary space. So let us make an effort to try and connect with the post-secondary landscape, with the universities and colleges, so that we understand the language that they are communicating to us. So liberal education that is emerging now, the choice-based credits that are emerging now, the skills that we feel we need to train the children into while they are in school. So these become significantly important in this particular game plan. All I want to do is to solicit your support and help in realizing this possibility while, say, everybody is at school. The best way forward for us for doing that is to network and connect and share what we do with one another. In this sharing, what is most important is not the best practices, but our mistakes. So where did I goof up? Where I was an ass? Where I was an absolute idiot? So these are the things that the others need to know, so that we don't make these mistakes. So it's not that we need to wait to do this through our own experiences. We need to have this sharing. So God bless us all. So this is where I wanted to take this forward. And I think there are many English teachers here. Just to prove a point, I'm just asking you. So if I start, a lot of teachers say were very, very smart. They would correct me immediately. Correct me immediately. If I make mistakes, they would correct me immediately. So I start, I is. Why? Who would correct me? I am. Absolutely. So you would already correct me before I wanted to qualify myself. Let's say I am a pronoun. Is that right? I is a pronoun, right? I am a pronoun. So you are a pronoun. Very nice. So I am the 9th letter of English alphabet. Yeah? So I am or I is? Yeah, but then see, when I communicate. So why did you choose to correct me? That's the question. Why did you choose to correct me before you wanted me to qualify what I was trying to say? Because our own perceptions, right? So I would like that here, let us sit back. So try and understand whether our perceptions about how we prepare the children would be right. Maybe we are not doing things the best way which would help the child, and maybe we need to sit back. So what the children carry now are their realities. To a large extent, some of us, I would say, I am in a time freeze. So I don't want to get out of that particular framework of time. So I am in a snapshot, and it takes a lot of time for me to move out of that particular zone to try and see what makes sense to the current generation. So this is the long and short of what I had to communicate. Thank you so very much for listening to me.